Welcome back to Weekly Chat with Crime Stoppers. I'm Nicole Kristoff, the Deputy Director of Crime Stoppers of Houston, joined by my good buddy.
Hey, great to be back. Andy Kahn, Director of Victim Services, Victim Advocacy.
Yeah, we took a week off last week, much needed break, because you had to get rested up for a long, short trip to Austin.
Yes, that was a long, enduring day, marked by another long, enduring day.
So what you doing in Austin, Andy?
Oh, we had some, which legislation we were on? One of them was to oppose a bill which would have allowed 23,000 violent offenders, including 5,300 murderers, 6,000 sex offenders, 35 human traffickers.
Who's counting?
Yes, something of that nature.
Yeah.
To be immediately eligible for parole if that bill passed.
And how did that go?
We're waiting, it's still left and pending, but I'm fairly optimistic that it's not going to go anywhere.
Let's hope.
It'd be a bureaucratic nightmare.
It would. Like school shooters?
Yes.
Getting out, murderers, rapists?
Potentially. Can you imagine trying to notify over 20,000 victims that, by the way, the person that you thought was going to be up for parole, let's say 10 years from now,
exactly,
we're going to review sometime in the next few months. We're sorry to bother you.
And here they come.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were some major cases in Houston that would have been immediately affected if this bill does pass. One of them I know everybody in Houston will remember, and that is the murders of Jennifer Erman and Elizabeth Pena.
I know that one is just seared in everyone's mind. If you were in the area at that time, just absolutely senseless. And these aren't petty criminals that we're looking to keep behind bars.
These are all violent offenders.
Exactly.
Period.
So while Crime Stoppers of Houston does not have any political opinions on the matter, we do urge you to contact your officials to let them know how you feel. What was the other one? Our little buddy, Sir Romeo?
Yes, that was a bill that was actually heard the other day, but was supposed to be heard the other day, but the hearing ended up being, things ended up well.
Good.
That bill is about as no-brainer as you can get. It's already through the House subcommittee, so we're waiting on a full House vote. I've been told it's going to pass through the Senate Criminal Justice Committee.
Your little birdies?
Yes.
Excellent.
Very good sources. Bottom line is any family whose children are a victim of attempted murder would then be eligible to apply for relocation expenses, just like domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking can.
Right.
And so I told Sir Romeo's family, and you've dealt with them quite extensively.
Yes.
And I remember talking to Lori, Sir Romeo's grandmother, said, Sir Romeo is going to be a catalyst for change.
That's right. That's right. And we hope, again, if you feel compelled and moved to contact your elected officials and let them know how you feel about that one as well, please feel free to do so. We've had some really disturbing cases in the news lately about ride shares, and we wanted to talk about some ride share safety. It is, I mean, most everybody has probably used a ride share. I don't use them very often, but
I use it when I'm out of town.
Right,
I do.
right. Or when we have to go downtown and nobody wants to drive their car, try to find a parking space. So we've Ubered, which is now a new verb. The Crime Stoppers team Ubered downtown and then come back. And so these two stories of late, we've got the college student that inadvertently got into the wrong car.
That was 21-year-old Samantha Josephson.
And that was South Carolina?
South Carolina, correct.
And then tragically raped and murdered by a fake rideshare driver. And then there was a young lady who had taken a rideshare home, and the driver got out of the car, follows her into her apartment complex, and then proceeds to rob her there at the elevator, takes the elevator back upstairs with her, robs her from, robs from her at her inside her apartment. So now this guy knows exactly where she lives.
Yeah, sadly, these are not isolated cases.
No.
As I was looking at some reports, and there's been over 24 reports of sexual assault, robbery, and sadly including murder done by rideshare drivers in the last few years.
Rideshare drivers or fake rideshare drivers?
Both, actually.
Both,
yes.
Okay, both of them. So we really wanted to talk to our viewing audience, our good friends out there, about what can they do to stay safe when they take an Uber or a Lyft or let's say any kind of rideshare.
Any rideshare.
A yellow cab or purple cab, whatever. Anytime you're getting into somebody else's car. And I was doing a little bit of research.
So you do that.
Right here. So if you're looking at your phone and you get something on your phone that from the rideshare that tells you what kind of car you should be expecting, what the license plate number is. Some of them will include a picture of the driver. It's really important to double check that.
One of the things, and what happened with Miss Josephson, again, such a tragedy, but what can we take from that tragedy to ensure others don't meet that same fate? And there's some kind of like basic safety 101. The first thing she did that we would encourage no one to do is what?
Get into the car without knowing. Exactly.
Open the door, got in, and didn't ask a basic question, which would be,
who are you?
Who am I here to pick up?
Who are you here to pick up? Because they're going to know your name. You should know their name from the app. And let us say real fast, we are in no way, shape, or form placing any blame on this young lady. These are just things that we want the general public to be aware of, because it's easy to slip into complacency. And it's easy to forget to do these things, especially if you're on a night out. If
you're outside and you think a car's pulling up, there's my ride, here we go, it's got to be that.
Exactly.
One thing I would encourage people to do that do ride shares is wait inside.
Yes.
You'll get a notice.
Exactly.
An alert that your ride has arrived.
Right. And order the ride while inside. Don't do it outside, because then you open yourself up to the pickpocket that's out there waiting to get your purse or something like that. So do all of that stuff inside. The other is, if you can share a ride, go with somebody else. Don't share too much personal info. I've never done that before in my entire life. But don't share too much with the driver. Like if they're picking you up at your house to take you to the airport, don't tell them how long you're going to be gone.
Yep.
You've just told them, hey, that place is going to be empty for a couple of weeks. Come help yourself to my TV.
You're advertising yourself as to what your schedule is like. Also, let friends and family know, hey, I'm expecting, I'm going to be taking this ride share. Here's where I'm getting into. Here's where I'm going to be. Let people know. Try not to be by yourself, first of all. Try not to end up getting isolated like that. It's just a sad reality in today's world we live in.
Yeah, your mother was right when she told you to travel in pairs. And my mom's in the audience, so I just gave her a little look about that. But,
that's true. We have studio audience today, so thank you for our studio audience for being here.
We expect a rousing applause before we wrap up.
This is the first time we've actually allowed guests
into
this program. Perhaps this can be a trend.
Right, yeah. So another thing that that this one website's saying, sit in the back. Obviously, you're not going to sit in the front seat with some crazy person that you don't know. Check their rating. If they have a bad rating, don't get in that car. Request a different Uber. They say anything 4.5 and above. Never pay cash.
Correct.
Most of those apps will only let you pay with your card that's associated with your account. So they should not be asking you for cash. Know your surroundings. Where are you driving around to? If you're here in town and you're out enjoying some time with some friends and you take an Uber home, you generally know where you are. You know a general route that they should be taking. So if they go off a different way, you know to be kind of alarmed by that.
Another good thing is just really trust your instincts. Trust your gut feelings. If it doesn't appear to be safe to you, if you're queasy about it, nothing says you got to go in there and ride off.
And if he gives you a bad star, who cares? If you get home at the end of the night, that's what matters the most. One of them also said, oh gosh, yeah, I don't have my eyeballs on, so I can't really see. Check the rating, sit in the back seat, wear your seatbelt. That's a given. One of the things with the student that was murdered was that state doesn't have license plates on the front of the cars.
And I know that's something that the legislators are now looking into requiring it. Also, illuminated signs that say Lyft or whatever rideshare you're on.
that
At least there's
makes it-
something that makes you stand out,
Right.
as opposed to just an anonymous vehicle pulling up.
Just random run-of-the-mill car. Another thing that I heard recently was that they're talking about putting like a barcode or something like that on the windshield of the car that you could then zap with your phone and see, is that actually the right car? Because I don't imagine that it would be difficult for an unscrupulous person to get a lighted Lyft sign and Uber sign for their car.
As someone who has worked with homicide survivors for over 25 years, one thing that I've always been my mantra is you can't go back and change what happened.
No.
What you try to make things better for others to come along, and you achieve a lasting legacy.
Exactly.
So if anything good can come out of this tragedy, this is what's going to happen, and there's important safety tips.
Yes. So we encourage all of our viewers and all of our friends out there, be safe when you're sharing rides, ride with somebody, do the safe thing, always be safe. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our website, crime-stoppers.org. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you to our live audience who's not trying to distract me. We hope you have a great day.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Thanks.